going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hills Are Silent podcast, where we like to chop it up about the games of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I'm Two-Tone the Artist.
And I am Mitch the Peach.
Indeed, he is. Microphone's coming a little hot. About to turn you down, my man. All right. So, we're back with another episode for you. Got some good topics, but sometimes we like to jump it off with some pickups, because I do have a few. Got some really good deals. Mitch, I heard you did as well. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead, hand it off to you, and let you go first, my man.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I only have two, and one is kind of a pickup, but not really. So I already own the disc, but I didn't have the case in the manual. And it's one of my actual favorite franchises, and it is Paper Mario and the Thousand Years Door.
Oh, nice.
For GameCube. And see, I got the one with the manual, with the I already had the disc that I've had for actually since I think I bought the disc by itself a long time ago, and I still had it. And I was like, well, it needs the case and manual. Like it doesn't feel complete, just like in this weird random case that doesn't have anything on it. So
yeah, so bought it a long time ago. Do you mean that's your original copy from your childhood?
No, unfortunately not. A lot of my childhood games I don't have anymore, because I think we had talked about this maybe on a previous pod. They were all in this game case that I had. I never kept them in like the actual cases. And I don't know why. I think my dad probably just gave it away along with like the entire console itself. So no, I actually bought this right after the game, right after I graduated college, and I bought a GameCube back, and I was like, well, what do I want to play on my GameCube? Okay, one of my favorite games on GameCube. So I bought it just disc only because it was still expensive at the time. Not as expensive as it is now.
Crazy expensive now.
Yeah, so actually it was a good investment then, because then I even just buying the case and manual I think cost me like $25-$30. Like I'm like, man, but like I hate seeing it so bare. Like I want it with the case. So
yeah.
So I went ahead and picked this up. I actually did the opposite, as I shared on the pod a few. I had some actual childhood cases without the games in them that I had, in a storage box my dad gave me, and I actually got the discs for those ones. So did the opposite here, but I was glad I did, because I just kept looking at it. And I'm like, I want this like to be on, in my bookshelf behind me, showing for everyone to see. So that is that one. That's Paper Mario Thousand Years Door. The other one is a very Mitch up his alley game, and it is called Unicorn Overlord.
What the hell? I've never even heard of that game.
Yeah, it just came out. It is a tactical role-playing game, but developed by Vanillaware and then published by Atlas. And as I've said on the pod many times, Atlas is one of those games I get a stamp of approval on. Anything that's published by Atlas, because I do love the Persona series more than many series of games. I will go for it, and I also love tactical RPGs. So yes, I went ahead and got this one on Amazon for like I think $35 or whatnot. But excited to play this one. I've been playing a few other tactical RPGs, and I've shared it on the pod in the past year or so. So definitely one that I will play. And this one just says, "Liberate your kingdom, reclaim your destiny." It's very, it's very much a medieval tactical RPG. I'm trying to think of the one I played on Switch that it reminds me of. Switch tactical RPG. I think I talked about it on the podcast at some point. Darn it, what is the heck is the name of it? Hold on, we're running through these games. Triangle Strategy, that was it. And I absolutely loved Triangle Strategy, and this reminds me of that. So yep, those are my two pickups. Excited to dive in. What you got, Mike? Let's move it along. What you got? I'm excited. You haven't shown me any of yours either. So
all right, man. So this past Sunday, after Mother's Day, I realized that a new Second and Charles opened up in Metro Atlanta. Now, I was shocked by that. I see the cat, man. She's looking all spooky
tweaking. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, one of the Second and Charles that we had in Metro Atlanta shut down. like a year or two ago. So I was pleasantly surprised when I found out that a new one opened up. And I went and checked it out. It kind of seemed like they just grabbed all the common crappy games that nobody's buying and brought it to this store just to kind of pad out their shelves. Because it was like 200 copies of Madden and like 200 copies of like some other common game nobody cares about.
Go figure, yeah.
Huh?
It's a go figure, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. You got to fill the shelves somehow.
Yeah, so I mean, they'll get some better stuff as time goes on and people actually trade things into this location. But I did find a few cool stuff to pick up. This first one is an OG Xbox game. You know, I'm always trying to find OG Xbox games that I somehow don't already own. And that is, it was disc only, but Star Wars Jedi Starfighter.
Nice.
Have you ever played this? I think it also came out on PS2.
I don't think so. I've played so many of the Star Wars games, but that one I don't think I did.
Yeah, so anyway, I just got like a printed color or black and white cover here. But anyway, it's a space shooter. So you're in a spaceship the entire time. It's kind of like, what were those ones that released on GameCube?
Like Star Fox?
Not Star Fox. There actually were some Star Wars ones that were released on GameCube. Man, Rogue Squadron.
Yep.
So it's kind of like that. But anyway, this one was super cheap. Paid like $8 for it, and it's 2-player co-op through the entire campaign. So man, as I'm always preaching, I'm all about those couch co-op games. And apparently, in some of the levels, it's split screen where you're both in your own ship. In other levels, one person's the pilot and the other one's the gunner. So I think this would be a pretty cool game to play through co-op.
Mm-hmm.
And it is backwards compatible on the Xbox 360. And anybody that's been following us on Instagram knows that I just picked up a flight stick for Xbox 360 and a bunch of... Man, the Xbox 360 had a lot of great arcade flight sims. And I didn't never realize that back in the day, but I've been finding them all out in the wild. And if this one's backwards compatible, maybe the flight stick will work on this. I'll have to try that out because that'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, for $2, we've talked about this on previous episodes of the podcast, and I recently picked up the later games in the series, but I got the OG Top Spin 1 for OG Xbox, and again, man, $2. I was like, man, they're giving it away at that point. I'm about to snag this, and...
Is there any Xbox Live Gold in there or something? And like the
yeah, actually, it doesn't have the manual, but it's got this really cool advertisement. I used to love these, man. They're like the early advertisements for the games that were on Xbox Live. And man,
like that,
yeah, look at the old Xbox Live box you would buy that came with the microphone and the whole kit. But I love getting these little ads. It's basically just showing everything that was published by Microsoft at the time.
Voodoo Vince, what a name.
Voodoo, yeah, some of these games I never even heard of. Like I never played Grab by the Ghoulies or Voodoo Vince.
I played that one. I didn't play Voodoo Vince, but I feel like I saw that like advertised somewhere.
Yeah, it doesn't look very good, but who knows? I never played it. But anyway, yeah, for $2, man, it's definitely gonna snag that. And then for, I think this one was $7. Command and Conquer Tiberian Wars for Xbox 360.
Oh, I played that one.
So you have played this one?
Mm-hmm.
Did you play it on PC or Xbox 360?
Xbox 360.
Okay, was it good?
Yeah, I enjoyed it on 360. I feel like our good buddy John, he's a big Command and Conquer guy. I think I was playing maybe his copy or something, but yeah, I enjoy those type of games here and there. I don't play them often, but those I don't know what do you call those?
Yeah, real-time strategy games.
Real-time strategy, yes.
Yeah, same here, man. It's like it's not my favorite genre, but every once in a while I dabble in it and I have a lot of fun with it. And I've played a bunch of the old Command and Conquers, but I was kind of apprehensive on this because like real-time strategy games don't always translate that well to console or a controller. But this one still had really good reviews for the Xbox 360 edition, so I figured they must have figured out a comfortable control scheme to actually play this game. And yeah, it did come with a free unused Xbox Live Gold membership. Man, it's like finding the golden ticket in a Willy Wonka bar every time.
Yeah, another one you should look out for if you're interested in 360 RTS is probably a cheap one. There's a Lord of the Rings. I think it might be like Battle for Middle Earth or something. That's an RTS. I played that one and really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, I heard of that. And okay, man, I'll be on the lookout for that one. There's some other ones I've got, like Supreme Commander 2, I think, and I can't remember the other one, but it looks like some War of the Worlds cover on it. Man, what was the other one? I don't know. But anyway, that was $7. And for $5, I got the standalone expansion, Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath. So, and again, complete copy, good reviews. So I'm going to dive into these.
I did not play that portion, but I'm sure, yeah. I mean, got to be good enough to have an expansion on it. So hey, it must be decent.
Really? Yeah. But anyway, picked up 4 games. Total was $24. Man, that was a steal.
Yeah, I've paid more than you for 1 game and a case with manual.
Hey, man.
But
all right, let's roll on to our next topic. So, the Fallout TV series has been really popular lately. My wife and I started watching it, and we're about 3 or 4 episodes in, and I don't know, man. It hasn't completely hooked me yet, but I've been enjoying it enough to keep watching, and I've really appreciated the gore and the bad.
I didn't
expect
that going in. Yeah, I did not expect that with I mean, you just never know with like different properties turn to television, but yeah, the gore is awesome.
Yeah, and I find it hilarious that historically movies or TV shows or whatever made that were based off video games typically strayed way too far from the source material, and then nobody liked them. And then now all of a sudden we're getting shows that are actually sticking close to the source material, like The Last of Us and Fallout, and they're like critically acclaimed. And I feel like every gamer in the world has been like that. We've been telling you, just make the movie like the game. Like, quit trying to make it something completely different. Like, just stick to the game and you'll be golden, man. There's great writers making these video games. Like, just use that work.
Yeah, it's already done for you. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Exactly. Anyway, I have played some Fallout games in the past. I've played Fallout New Vegas. I did not get very far in it. I think maybe I only sunk like 10 hours into it. And I very briefly played Fallout 4. But for me, that was pretty much it. But to my understanding, Mitch, you've actually really played through them. Yeah, you said you beat 3, New Vegas and 4. You cranked through all those?
All 3, yep.
All right, so let's start with Fallout 3. Actually, first of all, before we dive into this,
okay,
you definitely have more experience with Fallout games than I, but I have a question. Can you name all 8 Fallout games?
Oh no, all 8? No, no
8.
shot.
See what you know, man.
I only know I only know 76, Fallout 3. I mean, there's Fallout 2, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, 76. I already said. I think it.
2 more, man.
Oh, Fallout Tactics. Is that what it's called?
Yep. One more.
Fallout. What am I missing? I'm blanking.
I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna get it because it's like a free-to-play game spin-off.
Oh, Fallout Shelter.
Oh, he knew it. What?
Yeah.
All right, man. You knew all 8.
Once you said free to play, I was like, okay, yeah, now I remember.
All right, so let's start with Fallout 3. My very first question is, did you play it when it very first came out?
Fallout 3, I No, I don't think I played many of them when they for four when it first came out. The rest of them, no, I was late to the game on them.
All right, so did you play Fallout 3 on what, Xbox 360 or PC? What
Yeah,
console?
funny story with that loyal listener to the pod, Charlie Schween, Charlie Pickers, as he's been known for the from the pod. He had the Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition at that point. It was the one that had all the expansions on it and whatnot. Um, I don't know if it, I think it was it was that. Either way, it was. I got it from him and I traded him because I didn't play my PSP anymore at that point. I think he just collected dust and he really wanted to like utilize it. And I was like, dude, just give me your Fallout 3 and then I'll give you that. Probably a one-sided trade for him, but it really introduced me to the Fallout verse. So it kind of it was a good trade for me as well. So that's how I got into it, playing it in my dad's basement on my Xbox 360. Really fond memories of that one for sure.
Yeah, well, it's an open world game, so
Mhm.
yeah, I know it's been some years, but do you roughly remember how long it took you to play through it?
Nah, man, I feel like with those, it's like it's not like a Japanese RPG where it takes like 40, 30, 40 hours. I feel like it's gonna somewhere around like 20, maybe. Does that sound? What is how long to beat say? How long do beat Fallout 3? Depending on the play style, it takes nearly 23 hours on average. So hey, yeah, I think that's probably where I hovered around.
Okay, I'm shocked. I thought it was going to be a lot longer than that.
When you add the expansions in though, and I know I did play all the expansions on Fallout 3, that would have added at least another 10 hours into it, I would say.
Got it. All right, so rolling off of Fallout 3, the next one in the series is Fallout New Vegas. So, at what point did you play Fallout New Vegas?
Probably not at release, but I think more than likely close after. Because I mean, that was a time in life though where like I didn't have a lot of money, so I'd wait until games would get a little cheaper. I had enough stuff to trade in to get the game, or a holiday came around and I could get somebody bought the game for me. So I never really played a lot on release day for the most part. So I'm gonna guess, but I'm gonna guess it was within a year that it came out. And honestly, Fallout New Vegas is my favorite one of the ones that I've beaten. And it's the one that is actually developed not by Bethesda Studios, it's published by Bethesda, but it's developed by Obsidian Entertainment, who coincidentally is owned by Microsoft now, and so is Bethesda. So I'm really wanting Obsidian to get a stab and be able to make another Fallout game.
Yeah, so my questions on this is I've heard that before. You're not the first person I've heard say that Fallout New Vegas was actually better than 3. Do you remember why that was? Was there just a few factors, or did the game just as a whole just step it up?
I think it might have been like I think it was just as a whole. I liked where the story went. I liked the music. I liked the atmosphere of Vegas more than I did Washington D.C. I think. I don't know. It just ingrained in my brain a little bit more. But it's been so long since I've actually played it, and I want to play through it again because I feel like I want to get like a fresh take on like how I felt. If it still holds up to where I think it's still a really good game. Um,
So did
but
you play this one on Xbox 360 as well?
Yep, I've played all of them on Xbox. Nothing else. I guess Fallout 4 I played on Xbox One, but yeah, this one was Xbox 360.
Got it. Yeah, and I just started playing Fallout New Vegas again. See, the thing is, like, when I watch a TV show like Fallout, it just makes me want to play the game so bad.
Yeah, same.
So I figured Fallout New Vegas would be the right one to dive back into.
I think to piggyback off like what I was saying with like the locations, I wish I could have played these games for the first time after I'd been at each of these locations. Like I had never been to Boston, Washington D.C., or Las Vegas when I was playing each of those games. But now, as an adult, I've been to each of those locations. So it would have been nice to be like, oh, like I know this area because I've been here kind of thing, instead of just like I don't have any affiliation with anything that's going on, like any of like the environment. I thought that would have been like cool because like with Fallout 4, like one of the main like hubs and bases is actually Fenway Park, where the Boston Red Sox play. So, and I've been now to Fenway Park and watched a baseball game. So it would have been really cool to like have that affiliation when I played these games for the first time.
So I've got a couple questions about Fallout New Vegas. So just my first impressions playing this again the other night. It is a rough looking game, but I guess that's to be expected considering the age of the game. It was designed for PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360 generation, and it's an open world, so they have to scale things back graphics wise to be able to handle the fact it's an open world game, streaming these levels in and all that.
And what are you playing it on?
PC.
Okay, they did. I thought there was maybe some like resolution upgrade on the PC or something like that, but apparently not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing it at 4K, but there's only so much you can do with the same textures and
That's
polygons. True. And the other thing I noticed is when the game starts out, I mean, right now I'm playing footage of Fallout 4, so maybe that's not the best. Maybe that's kind of confusing. But anyway, so one thing I noticed is when you start the game and you're given the chance to create a character, it gives you like a set of preset faces that you can go in and then dial it in however you want. None of them look like actual humans. I was like, oh my god, what are these abominations? So I picked the one that looked the most like an actual human, and then when I went in, I morphed them to try to make them look like a normal person, because I was like, these character model faces are horrifying.
It's funny to me, like I guess kind of related to that. On Twitter, sometimes they'll do this like they'll just pick one NBA basketball player and then like LeBron James, for instance, and they'll show what he looked like in like NBA 2K1 and then bring him all the way to 2K24.
That's cool. That's a pretty cool evolution to watch.
Yeah, it's so funny just to see how it came from where it was to where it is now.
Man, if you see any more of those, send them my way. I want to check those out.
I will.
All right, so rolling along, just let me know your quick first impressions of Fallout 4.
Probably my least favorite of the three that I played, even though it is technically the newest one. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed 3 in New Vegas.
I'm glad I hopped into New Vegas then, because it was a toss up between 4 and New Vegas the other night.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they're just. I don't know if I could put my finger on why. I think it was more along the lines of it was just like they kind of just did the same thing over again with a new story, and there wasn't like a ton of innovation with it. I guess there was some cool stuff where you could get in the power armor and do some cool stuff with power armor, but then they did some funky stuff with like creating bases that they eventually poured, also like doubled down on with some DLC, and also with Fallout 76, which I honestly thought was the weakest portion of the game. Like I don't want to have a base builder in these type of games. It's not why I've ever liked them. So yeah, I think it was kind of the weaker one to me, and like the DLC I think was pretty lacking. I mean, they released a couple of them, but there was only one maybe two that was like a full-fledged like add-on story. The rest was just kind of like filler content or stuff like for the base builder. So yeah, I don't know. I think the location was good. Like Boston's a great location, has really a lot of historical stuff with it, so it totally is like cool that they did that. But I don't know, it didn't suck me in as much as 3 in New Vegas did. Like Fallout 3, I was craving more DLC. Like I was like, I'm doing all this DLC. I want to get all the achievements on 360. And New Vegas was the same way. Like I want to speed run through this thing. I want to play it, potentially play it over again. Like in 4, I was kind of just like, once the game was done, I was like, all right, I think I'm just done with this. I'm going to put it down.
Yeah. So I do have 2 quick questions. One based off what you just said. So in the show, the armor plays a big part for one of the characters. So in Fallout 3 and in New Vegas, you can't get in that body armor. That's something that was only introduced in Fallout 4.
Yes.
Okay, second question. I haven't tried this yet, but knowing it's an open world Bethesda game that pretty much gives you total freedom, can I kill any NPC in the game, even if it's like a quest giver?
Yes, I believe you can. In the older ones in particular, I believe you can. And it'll just, I think a screen comes on that you failed the quest, essentially, because they're dead. Like,
But will the game continue on?
I think, I'm wondering if you can kill main quest line folks. I'm not sure about that portion, but it seems like some real Bethesda jank where you could completely ruin your save by killing like an important NPC that can lead you to another quest line that just gets you completely stuck. So like you should maybe make a save and then
Yeah, I've been thinking about
it.
trying it. I mean, my morbid curiosity has just been getting the best of me, and I'm just like, can I just like slaughter all these people, and the game will just continue?
I say you can on some, at least some of them you can. I know, like, as I feel like I've done it and then it just failed a quest like right away, because I feel like it's the same kind of thing with Oblivion or Skyrim where you can do something similar. So yeah, I'm interested.
I vaguely remember from Morrowind that the major quest givers and characters were like extremely overpowered. So if you tried to kill them, you would not be strong enough.
You're not
to kill
ruining
them.
this for yourself.
Yeah, it's like you probably could kill them if you're leveled up enough, but for the average person, as soon as you start attacking them, they would kill you, or the guards would show up and back them up and kill you. Okay, so I think that's about everything I had on Fallout. Just one little side note is that they did release a Fallout 4 VR for PC and PlayStation 4, which I think would be really cool. Bethesda released the Fallout 4 VR and then a Skyrim VR, which to me that just is interesting that they converted those open world games to a VR experience. And one of these days I'm gonna try it out to see how well that actually translates to VR, since those games weren't designed for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick note too on Fallout 76 that I've done a very, very brief playthrough of. Not playthrough, just I played it for a little while, I guess is the thing. My good friend Taylor and I, because we both kind of got sucked into the Fallout show, wanted to play some Fallout. We're like, oh, we can play 76 together and maybe, see how it is right now. We both didn't have good experiences with it when we first tried it. We dove in again. Honestly, it was nice that when I logged back in, they basically treated me as like if I was a leveled up character to at least like, I didn't have to like start from level 1. And this, it was kind of like World of Warcraft where like, if you join in as a new player, now you're automatically get a free level 60 character or something like that. They did something along those lines to get you started, get you going, not making you feel so weak. So that was nice, but it still just feels very barren compared to like full-fledged Fallout games. And I know they did add NPCs into it. There originally weren't any, or if many, or if at all, NPCs. So they did add some in post-patch, when it post-launch, and it seems like it's in a better position, but it just doesn't seem like there's a ton of life in it, honestly. And people that I talk to, or people that stuff that I've read is like, oh, like, just wait for the end game. There's like cool end game stuff. I'm like, well, if I'm not enjoying the fun to get to the end game, what is the point of me even, I'm not going to waste my time trying to level up for, just to get to an end game that might be fun.
Right.
But yeah, Taylor and I got on it. It was easy to like partner up and find each other and play a little bit. I don't know. It just didn't feel, like a great, I guess, MMO to play. I'd rather play many MMOs besides a Fallout 1 at this point. I know there's some fun stuff with, I guess they're putting on Twitter that you get to a level where you can get a nuke and you can nuke portions of the map, which is very obviously Fallout. And somebody was nuking Phil Spencer's, camp that he had, the president of Xbox Gaming. So, some funny stuff that you can get out of it, some cool sandbox stuff. But like, again, the base stuff I don't care for. I just couldn't really find like the end goal to where I'm really excited to level up to get to this portion. There just wasn't anything that I really enjoyed.
Yeah. All right, man. Rolling on from that, I'd like to talk about some games I've been playing recently. And really, it's just been arcade games. My wife and I, we've been going to this new place that opened up in Atlanta called Your Third Spot. And it's just another barcade, like what you have in Chicago or like a Dave & Buster's or something like that. Real chill place. You can pay like, I don't know, it's like $25 or something to get in, and you get unlimited arcade games for a couple hours. They also have food,
nice.
drinks, bowling, darts, and some other stuff. I do like the layout of the place. The arcade section is actually kind of small. So it's a small, modest arcade, and we've been there twice. And the second time we went, we noticed they swapped out some arcade games. So I'm assuming they have maybe storage in the back or a warehouse or something, and then they rotate out the games to keep it fresh. And then there's an upstairs area with a few more arcade games, as well as little lounge areas with like the mini consoles, like an NES Mini or Sega Genesis Mini or Super NES Mini. So you can just hang out with some people and play some of those old games. Well, when we went there, I always appreciate my wife playing the light gun shooter games with me. Beautiful thing about arcade games, you can usually beat them in 20, 25, 30 minutes. And I'm always wanting to hop on the light gun games. They had Alien Extermination there. I don't know if you've ever played that one.
Mm-mm.
If I had to guess, this game probably came out anywhere between like 2005 and 2010. I really don't know, but it just kind of has that vibe that's when it was released. And it's a 2-player light gun game. It's a little different in that it's one of those arcade cabinets where the gun is actually mounted to the cabinet. So you can't just pick it up and free shoot. It's more like a mounted turret. You're just kind of aiming around.
I feel like I played some like House of the Dead games or something where they had that where you're like stuck to the machine.
Yeah, I think the most recent
like
one, House of the Dead, like Crimson or something, was like that. Oh yeah, it was pretty good. I swear they had it set on like the easiest mode because we barely died, and it just seemed like we flew through it, which is odd to me because I'm used to arcade games kicking my butt because typically they want your money, they want to eat your quarters, so they're just brutally difficult. But this one was a real breeze. I do find it interesting that I'm looking at this listing on Walmart.com for this arcade cabinet. It's currently out of stock, but it was selling for $9,900 from Walmart. I did not know you could buy an arcade cabinet off of Walmart.com. And I'm not talking like an arcade 1-up. Like, this is the legit arcade cabinet. But anyway, it consisted of 4 levels. They're probably about 5 minutes apiece. And then after you beat the queen alien on the last level, there's like a hidden level where she tries to attack you again, and then you finish her off. But yeah,
they don't need your quarters because they already got your money at the door.
Yeah, I mean, this place is different because it's free play. But I'm just saying, usually the arcade games themselves have been designed to be difficult. But anyway, that's Alien Extermination. The other one we played was in a very similar cabinet, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was made by the exact same people. It was literally the arcade cabinets were identical. Same gun, where it was mounted on it, like same everything. It was the exact same cabinet. Anyway, this one is called, and I'm serious when I'm telling you that, this game is called Shh. Welcome to Fright Fear Land. I don't know who named this, but Welcome to Fright Fear Land is the actual name of the game, and it's an evil carnival shooting game. And years ago, there was this arcade shooter called Carn-Evil that I loved. It was so much fun.
I remember that one.
Yeah, man, that was a good game. So I can't find anything linking this arcade game to that one, so I don't think it's actually like a sequel to it, but it's the exact same concept where it's just this evil haunted carnival and you're just shooting all these evil clowns and carnies, I guess. But it was not good at all. And my wife got motion sickness because it's a rail shooter game, so you're not controlling your character, the camera's moving for you, and they were like flipping the camera everywhere, like nauseating. And there was one level where you're like flipping upside down, and because you're in some weird maze where what's up is down and what's down is sideways, and yeah, she struggled to get through it, but she's a trooper, and we beat this one too. But I really wouldn't recommend this one. And last but not least, of course, they had the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game from the 80s. And surprisingly, I've never actually beaten this. When I was a kid growing up, they had this arcade machine at Chuck E. Cheese. And I got so far. One time I was playing, because it's a 4-player co-op game, one time I was playing with 4 people, and we got all the way to the last level when you're fighting like all the Shredder clones or whatever. And we died and ran out of quarters before we could finish him. So this was my moment of redemption. My wife and I cranked through this because obviously we had unlimited play this time around, and we finished it up. And man, these old beat 'em up games are button mashers. And my hands were so sore after we got done with this. But speaking of, have you beaten this, Mitch?
I have beat it, but I've also done at the Chuck E. Cheese in our hometown. They had it there, but I did not beat it there. It was another. I think it was the same one, if I'm not mistaken. The same TMNT game. But no, I had ran into a situation there where my friends and I ran out of quarters. Never beat it there. But then shout out to the Xbox Live Arcade that we have hyped up many times. But they did introduce it and brought it into the Xbox Live Arcade, that original one, and they actually had it as an online co-op. So I played online co-op of that with friends and cranked through it as well. Another situation where you didn't need quarters, you could basically come back to life if you did end up losing all your lives. But yeah, I did beat it with that, which was a lot of fun. Shout out to the Xbox Live Arcade. They brought a lot of good stuff to that.
Yeah, man, so many classic games, so many classic arcade games, so many classic Sega Genesis games were brought into the Xbox 360, Xbox Live Arcade. And man,
another example,
rest in peace, because it's shutting down in like a month. But
well, yeah, because I used to play like I'd go to the old Knights of Columbus. My dad would play on. He'd play on St. Patrick's Day every year, but they had a little arcade in the back that a bunch of the kids would just go back there because there was this is the days where you could smoke inside at places. So like the front of the Knights of Columbus was just packed with smoke. Like, so we're just in the arcade, but that's when I got introduced to Marvel vs. Capcom. So I played a lot of like Marvel vs. Capcom versus people. And then they brought it to Xbox Live Arcade, and I was like, holy crap, I get to play this at home. Like, kind of thing. So yeah, good times with the Xbox Live Arcade.
Yeah, and speaking of, I beat the sequel to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is Turtles in Time, on Xbox Live Arcade. I had just moved back to Atlanta, and I was really out there just trying to hang out with people, meet people, and one of my coworkers invited me over to his apartment, and him, myself, one of his buddies, and my girlfriend at the time hopped on Xbox 360 and played through Turtles in Time.
Heck yeah. I saw you on, I believe you actually gave it a try because I told you to. Did you play some Aegis Wing on your 360, the little arcade?
I did. You told me about that?
It was on, I think when we were going over my Xbox achievement list, or the games that I played on Xbox, that was one of them that I told you I played with friends, and it was very good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had seen a video that game was free on Xbox Live Arcade. So yeah, I downloaded it and checked it out. Yeah, it's a pretty good little bullet hell shooter.
Yeah, for us, like kids at that point on 360, we only had a limited number of games. We didn't have, none of us had jobs or anything. Like that was the one that was like free that we're like we could play together, and I don't know. I have fond memories on that one.
Nice. Yeah, I guess I totally forgotten you talked about that one.
We talk about so many games.
Yeah, I really need to go through and give the Xbox Live Arcade Marketplace one last look to see if there's anything I want to get before it shuts down. I've seen some people do some videos on it, and nobody's really pointed out anything that I absolutely feel like I need to get. So
I feel like anything of like real like importance they brought over to backwards compatibility.
Yeah, either that or I already purchased it years ago on the arcade. I think the only one I was really after was the remake to Perfect Dark.
Okay.
Which I ended up getting that, but to your point, I think that was re-released.
It is in the Rare Replay collection.
Yeah, so that's not going anywhere even after the Xbox 360, Xbox Live Arcade shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, man, we have one more topic and maybe just a couple minutes to crank through it.
Yeah.
I'll let you take it away, and then I'll say my little snippet on it.
Yeah, before we dive into it, though, I just wanted to, going back to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I did pick up the Cowabunga collection.
Oh, yeah.
Just wanted to highlight that before, not really much to see as far as the case. There's really nothing inside either. The disc is in my Xbox currently, but 13 old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, including the ones we've talked about, the one on the arcade cabinet, and then also Turtles in Time that Mike was talking about earlier. There's some other ones that are some beat 'em ups, or not beat 'em ups. Those are all beat 'em ups, but there's some fighters that I didn't realize that TMNT had within it that I'm actually going to give a try. I think maybe after we record this, because I'm just super curious about what the heck that's all about. But a pretty cool collection. I think I only got it for like $20, like pretty cheap. I think it was one of those things where I pre-ordered it on like Target and got like a discount, and then I forgot I did it, and it showed up on my doorstep. But yeah, a cool thing. Just wanted to highlight that. But yeah, let's quickly move on to the last topic, which is simply cloud saves are pretty darn awesome.
Indeed.
And I've been on a couple family trips back to back. I knocked them both out in April. Got to get the family time in, parents are getting older. Want to make sure I'm spending time with them and doing my duty as a good son. But I brought my gaming laptop with me that we have talked about on this pod. I am a member of the ROG Army, the ROG Alliance, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, brought that with me to both trips, and honestly, like the coolest thing, and I'm honestly glad I did. So we were talking about Sea of Stars on a recent podcast, last podcast actually, and I started giving it a try. It is on Xbox Game Pass, both PC and console. And so I booted it up. I started playing it on my laptop on my family vacation. I came home and I booted it right back up on my Xbox and picked up right where I left off seamlessly. Like, honestly, the coolest thing. And I mean, similar situation with a completely different platform in Steam. I was playing a game called This Is the Police 2, which is just a hilarious cop management game
We're going to have to go over that on the next episode, because that game does look crazy.
Yeah, well, I'll play more of this because I'm actually playing through it right now. Maybe I'll give a more of a full go of a review on our next episode. But yeah, it's a funny one. But anyway, yeah, started that one on my laptop when I was with my mom out in where she lives, and then I came home and booted up on my PC, my home PC, and picked up again with the cloud saves through Steam right where I left off. So like, honestly, like, it's so great having that option, because I feel like obviously when we were kids, there's no that we had to bring our entire console with us if we really wanted to, be on the same save for when you travel and then when you come back. So it's nice to have a portable option that doesn't interrupt me when I play on my big screen at home or on my desktop.
Yeah, and I definitely echo that statement. When we were kids, you'd have to bring your memory card over to your friend's house, or if in the case of like the original Xbox, you'd have to take the whole console because your save game was on the hard drive. And you could lose that memory card, file saves could get corrupted, and then there just goes, man, tens of hours of playing through something. But with these cloud saves, which truly is just amazing technology, that's not going to happen. And same thing with me and my buddy were playing Painkiller Hell and Damnation years ago, and then just the other night we were looking through our co-op games, and I was like, I don't think we ever finished this. So we booted it back up, and bam, our save was there like 8 years later from where we left off, just because Steam saves it. Like, man, bless Steam. And like you said, the ability to go from one console to your PC or whatever, it truly is incredible. And hats off to the engineers that created cloud saves for all this stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I remember a time on, I want to say it was Super Smash Bros. Like, it's a grind to get some of those Super Smash Bros. Characters on GameCube, on Melee. And I feel like I got every character unlocked. So when people came over, didn't have to worry about it. I had every character. Yeah, I feel like I had some like off-brand memory card. I don't know what it was, but yeah, completely corrupted all my data. Like, everything I had on that memory card was gone. So yeah, I'm thankful I don't have to go through that anymore.
Yeah. All right, man. Any other words on cloud saves?
Nope, nothing on that. Nothing on the rest of the pod. Great episodes. Glad to be cranking these out still.
Yep, thanks everybody for joining in. That was our last topic for this episode. Hope to catch y'all on the next one. You can find all our episodes on YouTube, Spotify podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Where else are we at, Mitch?
Yeah, our Twitter is @HillsAreSilent. Our Instagram is Instagram.com/HillsAreSilent. Thank you to all our new followers lately. Thanks for everybody who's been listening that has come from there. Our TikTok is @TheHillsAreSilent Podcast. And then our YouTube again is @TheHillsAreSilent. If you have any questions, comments, game recommendations, any cool memories from your childhood, playing games, anything at all, hit us up in our email inbox, hillsaresilent@gmail.com, and we will catch you on the next episode.